Hello and welcome back to Traversing the Cosmos, the Astrology podcast. My name is Fola and today we are going to have a special episode. We're going to be going over a nice overview of Taurus season. I'm not going to get too in-depth on the transits, but we will run down a list of the major transits. We are also going to talk about the planets and the stories that they're telling, the interactions that each planet is kind of going through, and how it will be evolving and working with us throughout Taurus season. And then we are going to get into a single card pull for each rising sign. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel so grateful that you are here. And yeah, it feels like we're building a little community here, and that's the whole point. So thank you so much. Your presence is immeasurable. So we're going to start with a list of the transits. Now, this is going to be long, but I'm doing this for you. That way you can write it down on your calendar. All right, so first up is going to be April 19th, and Mars is going to sextile Jupiter. Mars in Pisces is going to sextile Jupiter in Taurus, and Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees. April 20th, the next day, Jupiter is going to conjoin Uranus at 21 degrees. So these transits are kind of working together here. They're all at the same energy, and it's kind of like a little throuple going on. All right. April 21st, Venus is going to conjoin Chiron in Aries at 20 degrees, a new degree point, a new starting point. Then the Sun is going to square Pluto, the Sun in Taurus and Pluto in Aquarius at 2 degrees. 2 days later, we have the Scorpio full moon happening, square Pluto at 4 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. After that, we have April 25th. Mercury is going to go direct at 16 degrees, but in actuality, it is 15 degrees and 58 minutes. So it's like right there on the cusp. And it's going to be right near the North Node. So that is definitely something to take into account. On April 29th, Mars is going to conjoin Neptune in Pisces at 28 degrees, and Venus will enter its home sign of Taurus. The next day, on the 30th, Mars is going to enter its home sign of Aries, and it is going to feel glorious. I can tell you now, okay? Mars is home, baby. All right, and then kind of a week after that, you have some downtime, maybe some Mars and Aries time, to get things going, get things popping. And then all the way on May 6th, Mercury in Aries is going to conjoin Chiron at 21 degrees, which is a new degree point. Like I said before, Chiron is working with a whole new area of our chart. And so this is interesting, but this is also a transit wrap up. So the first time Mercury conjoined Chiron was on March 20th. Then it happened again on April 15th. And now it is wrapping up this storyline on the 6th of May. The very next day, the Sun is going to sextile Saturn in Pisces. And then we have the Taurus new moon, which is also going to happen sextile Saturn in Pisces at 18 degrees. We've got a little bit of time after that. And then on the 13th of May, Mercury is going to leave shadow. It is going to be fancy, foot, and free. And on the same day, the Sun is going to conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees. And Venus is going to sextile Saturn at 17 degrees. On May 15th, Mercury enters Taurus, so we're going to enter a little bit of a slowdown here, okay? Communication's going to get a little bit, just a little more methodical, we'll say. Then on the 17th of May, Mercury in Taurus is going to square Pluto in Aquarius at 2 degrees. Pluto causing a little bit of havoc. And the day after that, on the 18th, the Sun is going to conjunct Jupiter in Taurus at 28 degrees, and Venus is going to conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees. And this is interesting to me. This is a lot of Taurus energy. Think about the fact that all 4 of these planets are in Taurus right now, and they're making these huge conjunctions. I mean, Sun conjunct Jupiter happens every year, but Venus being conjunct Uranus on the same day And also Taurus is ruled by the sign of Venus. So it's like double Venus energy, but then you have the Uranus coming and like shaking things up. But there's beautiful expansion happening. Like this day, the 18th of May, is pretty fantastical. It is really grounding, but also upending at the same time. And then the very next day, the last day of Taurus season, May 19th, the sun will sextile Neptune, sun in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees, which is an anaretic degree, which is a release point. It is a pressure point, but also like a letting go. And at the same time, Mars is going to conjunct the North Node in Aries at 14 degrees, which is a new degree point for the North Node. And also, it's in the very middle. And so that energy is going to double down on the Aries. Or actually, I guess it's triple, because we have the North Node in Aries. We have the 14th degree, which is a very serious, like digging into that Aries energy, and then Mars energy on top of that. It is going to be a very interesting month. We have some major transits happening, and honestly, it's like, it is all so beautiful. It's like building on top of itself. It's like a massive wave, like coiling up, building up slow, and then it just crashes and the people get to ride on their surfboards. That's what the energy is feeling like this month. All right, so let's talk a little more in depth about the planets. And what better planet to start with than the sun? Well, actually, I guess the sun is a star. But still, we're going to start with the sun, okay? So the sun is going to enter Taurus. Then it is going to square Pluto in Aquarius. And this is an energy of upheaval. It is breaking down our natural habits, because the sun is how we move. It rules our ego, and thus kind of ruling our conditioning. And the sun in Taurus is very, very accustomed, we'll say. She's accustomed to doing what she does, to moving how she moves. And this square to Pluto is kind of backing her up a little bit. It is causing a little bit of havoc, a little chaos, if I do say so myself. Taurus and Aquarius, they tend to fight over doing things the same. Aquarius wants a different way. Aquarius wants to see things from a different angle. And Taurus is like, this is tried and true. It's kid tested and approved. So what are we talking about? Why do we got to do that? And Aquarius is like, but you're not seeing the whole thing. And so that's what Pluto is kind of coming in and doing to the sun. The sun is like, I'm in my groove. I'm in my jam. I'm vibing out. And I just got here. And then Pluto and Aquarius is like, you don't even know what you're in for. We're doing things differently this time. Sorry about it. But I'm not sorry, because actually it's going to help you grow. Pretty intense, but also it's just another day. The sun does always square Pluto every year, twice a year. So you felt this energy before, but this is also the first time that Pluto is in Aquarius and the sun is in Taurus. And so it is a little bit of a different energy signature and a pretty interesting way to start off Taurus season. And then a few days later, you have the Scorpio full moon that's also going to be squaring Pluto. So the sun is going to make an opposition to the moon in Scorpio, and they're both going to be squaring Pluto. And this this Scorpio full moon, it may have you in your feelings, because there is something that was started, that was kicked off by that sun square Pluto, and is traveling with you to this day. So yeah, it's gonna be, we'll talk about it. All right, after that, a couple weeks later, literally 2 weeks later, the sun is going to sextile Saturn. Sun in Taurus, Saturn in Pisces at 17 degrees. And that is also going to happen on the same day because it's 2 weeks later as the Taurus new moon, which is taking place at 18 degrees. So it feels like we've gone through a little bit of turbulence. We've had some time to sit with it. Saturn is coming in to guide us. And then we're setting new intentions. And you'll have about a week to kind of solidify the intentions that you're trying to move towards before the sun conjuncts Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees and shakes shit up, okay? It's like, you thought you were doing this. Actually, don't worry. Just relax. Just go with me, says Uranus. But then, you go with it. And then on the 18th, the sun is going to conjunct Jupiter, and it's going to expand the things that you've been working on. It's going to be at 28 degrees, just there at the end. And right before it leaves Taurus for good this year and enters the sign of Gemini, it's going to sextile Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. And the sun is going to really learn how to relax and let go and know that it's divinely guided. The sun in Taurus has kind of been working through this upheaval, and it has been very uncomfortable during its own season because it has had to find a new way to express itself. It has had to shift and adjust. And now it feels like right as it has gotten used to the rigmarole, it learns to surrender and head on into Gemini, which is all about being mutable. Gemini season is about going with the flow, but also like trying different things out, learning different things, picking up new skills. And Neptune in Pisces is saying, hey, I know it's been rough. This month has been crazy for you, girl, but I got you. You can just wade in my waters. It's all good. So yeah, the sun is going through some changes, as are we, for the better. All right, the next planet we're going to talk about is the planet Mars. And I have already told you, if you watched the last episode, that Mars is in Pisces, and it is super uncomfortable, and it is kind of like trying to start your engine, but you just keep hearing that sound. You keep revving the engine to keep it going, and it's not going anywhere. I'm getting a visual of your car being stuck in the mud. That might be the feeling. But yeah, it's been languishing, but we're about to rev up, okay? So on the first day of Taurus season, Mars is going to sextile Jupiter and Uranus. It's getting supercharged here. It is feeling its oats. It's understanding the possibilities that are in front of it. It's already done most of the releasing work of like releasing the things that you've been attached to, the things that you've been trying to go for that are not in alignment with who you are or where you are headed. It's been doing all that work. And at 21 degrees, it's going to sextile Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. And new possibilities are going to come in for this Mars. Things are going to start to fall into place. And that energy of divine timing is carried forward to the next transit that Mars is making. It's going to conjoin Neptune in Pisces at 28 degrees. And it is a clear sign that like this Mars is being forced to surrender, being forced to be open and more receptive. Mars is ruled by Aries. It is a masculine planet, but sometimes we have to really find that balance in order to be as successful as we possibly can. We have to know when to hold back, when to relax, and then when to charge forward. And this is kind of like the relaxing part of it, because literally the next day, Mars is going to enter Aries, its home sign. And this is like a lightning bolt of energy. It's the thing that we've been waiting for, okay? It's the thing that's been like, I have all these plans. I have all these things I want to do, but they're not getting done. Is it me? No, it's Mars in Pisces, okay? But now on April 30th, Mars will finally be in Aries, and all will be right in the world of taking charge. Now, you don't really have to do much with Mars in Aries. I feel like Mars just does its thing in Aries. Like, you're going to be going, you're going to be getting shit done. You're going to be enjoying life and being passionate and really being unafraid to experience life. Yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, at the very end of Taurus season, Mars is going to make a conjunction with the North Node in Aries at 14 degrees. Now, we talked about this kind of. We sidestepped it when we were talking about the Sun and Neptune and everything. But this is a major conjunction happening. It is a tripling down of Aries energy with the degree point, with Mars, and with the North Node in Aries. This is a signature of truth. This is a time to be powerful and unique and assertive. It's a time to launch your plans. It's the time to be the most unabashed version of yourself. Now, there's a shadow to that, because the shadow in Aries is, flipping people off and just keeping it pushing, okay? The shadow in Aries will fight for her motherfucking life. The shadow in Aries will talk crazy and be like, what? There's nothing wrong with a little conflict, The shadow of Aries will start something just on a whim and will just dive off a whole cliff trying to get that thing. All right. So there is a potential for that on this day, especially with the Sun sextiling Neptune on the same day. There's a potential to blindly step off the rails. But there is also something powerful and warrior-esque about this. Mars is literally getting a rebirth. It is literally finishing its cycle up with Pisces, entering its home sign in Aries, going for the goal. Is it goal or gold? Both. She's going for the goal and the gold. Yes, everything is hers. I'm excited. I can't even explain it any other way other than this is a time to take divine action. All right, let's talk real quick about Venus, okay? So Venus is only doing a couple of things this month. She's going to start off the month with a conjunction with Chiron at 20 degrees. And like I said before, they have this thing going on. They've got this new digs kind of vibe, It's a new degree point for Chiron. Venus is showing up. She's like, hey, what's up? I'm just pulling through to show you what you really want, what you really need, what makes you feel happy inside, how you're going to be the best version of yourself, true to you. And then after that, she's going to enter her home sign of Taurus. Like, she's chilling. Venus is right where she wants to be. She is exalted in the sign of Taurus. This is a wonderful time to spend time with nature. All right. This is the Hathor side of Venus. This is the earthy, the earth mother, the giver. It's garden planting time. Like, that's what Venus and Taurus is giving, is go plant a garden, go have a wonderful brunch, take a nice nap. Life is way too short, and you might as well feel comfortable, happy, and fed. That's what Venus in Taurus tells us. Now, she is going to get her wig tugged on a little bit, okay? Because she is going to experience a conjunction with Uranus and Taurus at 23 degrees near the end of Taurus season. So she's kind of like, she's living her best life. And then things go a little sideways, but not in a terrible way, in a like, you thought that you didn't like this. You thought that this wouldn't make you happy. You thought that this wouldn't be the right path to go down to build wealth and success for yourself. But actually, it is. Actually, it is. And I know you didn't think you would like this, but guess what? We found a new way. I found a way. I found a way. Shout out to Drake and Josh. So yeah, Venus is really living her best life. And then she's going to deal with some new surprises. Some things that are going to open up her eyes to a new direction. All right, let's do Jupiter, the planet of expansion. Jupiter is in Taurus and has been in Taurus since last year. It has been a lovely time. I'm going to miss Jupiter being in Taurus, but we still have this whole Taurus season of that happening and then a few days after that. So let's enjoy it while we can. We're starting off the month with a Mars-Jupiter sextile happening, with Uranus also being there, because Jupiter is going to then conjunct Uranus, or conjoin Uranus at 21 degrees. And it's like, it feels like a campfire. It's like, I don't know why I'm seeing a campfire, but it's like immersing yourself with nature, I feel like. Ooh, I mean, there are plenty of things that are going to happen because Uranus and Jupiter and Mars are all working differently in your chart, specifically to you. But it gives me earthy vibes. Jupiter is learning how to embrace things that may make us a little uncomfortable in order to fully allow us to grow. I'm also hearing spirituality may look different to you in these 2 days, the 19th and the 20th. There's an opening here. And I really believe that Jupiter is just going to run free with that opening. This conjunction, Jupiter and Uranus, it's one of the rarer conjunctions. It only happens like every 13 to 15 years. The last time these planets conjuncted, it was 2011, and it was in the sign of Pisces, I believe. The last time they conjuncted in the sign of Taurus, it was 1941. Okay, so we're bringing in World War II vibes, but like it signals a time of change, honestly, of deep change, a deep change in our value system, a shakeup in what we even deem as valuable assets, an expansion of the heart and growth beyond the material self. So as we're working with that energy, it's gonna, we're gonna work with that. Obviously, it's such a major conjunction that this energy is going to travel for the next 13 years until they make another conjunction, okay? But it will start off a new theme for us. How can we value ourselves beyond the material? How can we learn to build a home, build our home on ground that moves? We don't have to always be so rooted in. That's what I'm hearing, is that our home is where we make it. And it's about time that we start acting like that. So, like I said, Jupiter's going to make this conjunction at the very beginning of Taurus season. And then it's going to kind of play possum for a little bit. And then it's going to show up again, working with other planets. Actually, it's going to be working with the sun, so a star, luminary, at the very end of Taurus season. The Sun and Jupiter are going to make a conjunction at 28 degrees of Taurus. And it's kind of like a farewell. It feels like an epic goodbye, a send-off. And Jupiter is feeding our Sun, feeding our ego, building us up. One last time in Taurus, it's reminding us one last time of how worthy we are before they both bid farewell and on to the next sign of Gemini. All right, time to discuss Mercury, because Mercury's been going through some changes. It went through a whole retrograde period. It's gonna go direct at 15 degrees and 58 minutes, or 16 degrees, right near the North Node. It's gonna charge forward, and it's gonna work with Chiron again. It's gonna settle its debt, kind of. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but it's gonna settle up with Chiron. Right after it gets its boost, it's going to meet up with Chiron at 21 degrees, receive the final vestiges of what Chiron actually was learning from Venus. You know, they're all congregating, and this is like the last little meeting, is Mercury discussing the new ways with Chiron. And then it's going to leave shadow, okay? It's going to work for another week after that, and then finally leave shadow on the 13th of May. And then charging full steam ahead. Well, for about a day. And then it's going to hit a bit of a wall, okay? It's going to enter Taurus, where Mercury does not like to be, okay? Mercury is like, please. It's the planet that literally moves the fastest. It's like, please, let's just go. Like, let's just do this. I just got out of retrograde. Like, and now I'm hitting this molasses. But fear not, Mercury in Taurus, it works slowly because it's actually better for it. Mercury in Taurus learns how to ingrain things. It doesn't just skim over information. It builds upon its knowledge. It moves slower so that it can take in the whole picture. It can really understand where it fits and how it can make something more sustainable. So, is it going to feel the best? Maybe not. But you will get results from Mercury being in Taurus. And it immediately squaring Pluto after it enters Taurus is also going to be a little frustrating. But if any planet can really take on the challenge that Pluto gives of doing something different, of figuring out where your power is, of adjusting, it's Mercury. Mercury is very intelligent, and it always learns its lessons. In Taurus, it is going to be a little bit more stubborn. But when a Taurus learns something, when Taurus energy really takes the time, invests its energy in something, it is like building a foundation, building a bedrock. So Mercury is still kind of being subjected to a roller coaster ride, but I promise it is for the greater good. Now, finally, let's talk Chiron. Chiron is wrapping up a chapter. All right, we have been doing the work. We have been unearthing the things that are dug into our psyche, the things that make us look at our own selves a different way. Chiron's going to be doing a full wrap session with Venus in Aries at 20 degrees when they come together. This is a new degree point. It is a beginning of a journey. It is a wrap party. And honestly, this Chiron Aries conjunction feels like when you burn your hand and then you put it under the running water. It feels so soothing. Venus is really going to take care of Chiron today, on that day. Right after that, Chiron is going to wrap up with Mercury. They're going to chat about a few things. They're going to talk about what they've learned and how they've grown together. They're going to start fresh with brand new eyes. And they're going to work on this next part of your chart. Where does Aries energy from 20 degrees on lie for you? This is the beginning of the new journey, the new understanding of self, the new way of being. We're going to take the lessons that we learned. We're going to allow the new relationship that we've built with ourselves to guide us. It's pretty inspiring, actually. This Chiron journey has had its ups and downs and low and beholds, all right? But once Chiron gets back to Mercury, hell, once Chiron meets up with Venus, it's like, oh yeah, that old version of myself. Yeah, we're past that. We're moving on. We're doing better things. We're booked and busy now. And I'm proud of us. I am proud of you, and I am very proud of me. Now, as I'm recording this, we haven't gotten there yet, but I can say it already. Look at you out here doing your thing. Go shawty, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Actually, it's gonna be my actual birthday this month, by the way. I'm a May 5th baby. I'm a Taurus baby. So wish me happy birthday in the comments. But seriously, this has been, what a time. What a time this has been. So give yourself a nice pat on the back, all right? All right. I think I'm going to actually do a second installment for those card pulls for each rising sign. I like this. We're at about 36 minutes, and it feels like a nice place to end. So I will be coming out with an additional podcast, an extra episode, where we talk about card pulls for each rising sign for the month of May for Taurus season, because it's also a little bit of April. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. My energy is on wild. It's about to be my birthday month, and I'm just happy to be spending this time with you. So thank you yet again. If you are interested in getting a personal reading, whether that be an astrology reading or a tarot reading, feel free to email me at cosmicbelongingllc@gmail.com. Now, I will be getting my website up soon, very shortly. And so I'll be directing you there as well in a little bit. But yeah, feel free to hit me up and comment down below. Are you excited for this Taurus season? How has Aries season treated you? Let me know. All right. And don't forget, you belong. Bye. Bye now.